Happy New Year to all of you from us here at Julian Campbell Foundation. And the purpose of this video, this New Year's video, is to share some of the work that we'll be doing with young people in the coming months this year. Because here in the UK, we've just started the spring term, which is really like the winter term. But anyway, we just started the spring term. And then we've got one term left, which is a summer term. So this is our second term out of 3. So we're going to talk about some of the work that we're doing with our children, and then more importantly, or just as important, what can we do as parents to support our young people? Because at the moment, some of our young people are taking mock exams, especially if they're year 7, from year 11 to 11 years old to 18, and even beyond that. Actually, they're taking exams, and this can be quite a stressful time. And just jumping quickly, just to talk about some of the work that we do in schools with young people, we do psychodrama workshops. So psychodrama workshops, what are they? We focus on certain activities, and we work, and the young people work as a group, and they act through certain scenarios and case studies. And this can be really empowering for them. So, for example, we look quite often at the dangers of social media and body image. And the danger of social media, for example, there's a lot of things that our young people don't know of. So, for example, that each of them has a footprint when they use social media, when they're on social media websites. It's not something that they can be on and there's no trace. And we know that there's examples of people that have commented or said something derogatory, and then years later in a search, during a job search and searching for a job, they've gone for the interview, and it's subject to references, and their social media presence is checked, and they don't get the job, or even before the interviews happen. This is quite a prerequisite to check the social media footprint or the blueprint. And it's really good that young people know that, and they have that kind of like emotional maturity to know that whatever they do now can really have an impact sometime later. So other things we look at, for example, be body image, because a lot of our young people are interacting with social media, Instagram, and they're seeing celebrities look, with all of this surgery and everything, and they're taking this as a way that they need to look as well. And this puts a lot of pressure on young people, boys and girls, around their body and how it should be. So these are some of the things that we'll be doing in our drama workshops. I want to talk a little bit about social media, because it's kind of everywhere, and young people from young ages now have got mobile phones, they've got access to social media. Research shows that 80% of young people under 10 years old have already seen some kind of pornography or nude images on the internet, and are really perturbed by that. So what can we do as parents? Because it's really great to be able to teach and show young people about how to use the social media for their advantage and not be used by it. So today we're just going to talk about 3 things that we can put in place as parents or carers to really support our young people. And one of the top things that we suggest, or we've seen really have an impact, is have sacred free moments. So like sacred phone moments. So where, like, meal times, for example, and then before they go to bed, these are times where there wouldn't be any social media. So really it's us as adults leading by example, not having the phones on the table. And actually research shows that young people that are involved, that attend more between 3 and it's got to be 5 meals a week with their family, that they are less likely, they're higher achievers, less likely to have mental health difficulties, less likely to get into drugs. a higher emotional intelligence. There's a lot of benefits. So there's got to be times where there's phone-free moments, because it really opens up the opportunity to conversation, where you can find out about the young person in your life, find out what they've been doing in their day. There might have been something that happened that they're concerned about, they want to talk about, so you can really share this with them. And it's a real opportunity for them to know that certain meal times, or all meal times, that you'll be available for this, for you all to share about your day and how it went. Also, as well, it's really good to be able to turn off all social media before bedtime. So it could be about 9 o'clock, for example, but make sure that you're leading by example, you're doing the same, so they're learning these healthy habits to have these phone-free moments. And the second thing would be to make sure that there's a balance of activities. So there's a balance of activities that are done outside and inside. So what might that look like? So that would be having a conversation with your young person to find out what kind of sports they like. For example, if you've got any great friends, so if they've any sports they like, that they can interact there by playing the sports and have those group activities to attend. Or it could be something that they enjoy doing, like gymnastics or netball or football, anything like that. Because the more they are away from their computer or the internet, the more they're able to interact with people, like face to face. And this is really great for developing emotional intelligence. What kind of other things can they do? So speaking with the young person in your life to find out what friends they've got, because maybe they can go out with their friends and hang out with their friends. So that's worth encouraging. And just as well, another thing that they can do is finding out what they like, their best subjects in school. Do they really like science? Is there a science club? Is there some kind of like art activity or gymnastics or sport activity after school? So really encouraging them to take part in that, because then that gives them less time to be on the internet. And it seems to be loneliness, which is a huge factor drawing people to start and get involved for so long in the internet and the activities and things like that. Which brings us to our next one, really, because it's good to give them the responsibility. However, it's not really a good idea to just give them all access to the internet without any monitoring, without any guidance, because it's really good to find out and have a conversation with the young person in your life about the social media, the websites, the social media that they are interested in. So, for example, which social media platforms? Is it Instagram? So talk about that. Talk about what they might find on there, like is there access to things that might please them or may not be pleasing. So there might be some sexual content, there might be violent content. Is there some kind of like grooming or bullying or something like that? So finding out about each of the platforms that they're on and really being inquisitive about these platforms and what goes on, what friends they're in touch with. Because the good thing about this is that you can find out what works for them more, what doesn't work for them, and how to protect them. Another good thing is not to allow 24-hour access, because of course us as adults, we can refrain, or maybe we can control ourselves, but with a young mind it's really good to have a limit, a daily limit, and stick to that daily limit. And of course, just because say somebody is 12 years old, it doesn't mean like different 12-year-olds have different emotional levels. So you might trust one more than another. So it all depends on that young person in your life. So start giving them the access, and don't give them any more access, and really be inquisitive and find out about what they're doing, what they're visiting, and ask questions and really be curious around that, because it's through that you can find out what they're dealing with. You might be able to spot something happening to them, like a scammer or somebody, or something happening that's untoward, and you can speak with them about it freely. Research shows as well that the older the young person is when they have a phone, then the less likely they are. There seems to be a link with the age that you give the mobile phone to and their mental health. So the older they are when they have their mobile phone and access to all the Wi-Fi and the internet and sites and apps, that their mental health is in a better condition than if you give it to them younger. Then having said that, it's really about you and the young person in your life, and you putting things in place, because it's going to be much easier if you put some limits down first of all, and you're really strict first of all, and you give them their limits. You've got 2 hours a day, for example, no more, than you give them a carte blanche for them to do whatever it is they want, and then you realize something's amiss, and then you start clamping down on that, because it's going to be more difficult in that moment for you to do anything, because they've already started, and they've got the freedom to do whatever they want. So please just, please be with them, and make sure that you are monitoring exactly what it is that they're doing, and that you've got the boundaries on what they can do and what they can't do. And then as time goes on, maybe then you can allow them more time, but it has to start, with that full trust. So today we're talking about social media, and we're talking about what we can do as parents, as guardians, to and carers, to make sure that the young people in our life are have leadership, and they are really dealing powerfully with social media instead of being at the impact of it all. And in my book, Runs in the Family, we talk more about what we can do as parents to support not only ourselves, because I believe sometimes as parents we get forgotten in all of these things because we're caring about the young people in our lives. But what's equally as important is that we're giving, we're role models, and that we're giving ourselves what we need as well, because we're the role models for them. And there's certain things that you can put in place. So if you'd like more information of what we can do and how we can really empower ourselves and our children around social media, and around other topics as well, around mental health and to deal with exams, please do inbox us, because we're looking for a founding group of members or parents who could work with us for up to 12 weeks. And in those 12 weeks, we'll be looking at different aspects of young people and what they're dealing with and how we can support them as adults. So thank you again for watching this video. Wishing you a really enjoyable and exciting new year. So I can't believe already that that we're almost in the middle of January. Can you believe that? So so if there's anything that you want to talk about, anything that you've got questions about, please do message me, and we'll be able to speak next week. So every Friday afternoon we'll be on video. Sometimes we'll be speaking with people inside the foundation, people supporting our foundation. So what we're about is youth mental health and early intervention to power our young people through giving them enhanced levels of emotional intelligence, so they can circumnavigate their lives with more power and strengthen the platform from childhood and adolescence to adulthood. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you from all of us here at Julian Campbell Foundation, and wishing you a wonderful weekend and week ahead. Bye.